What if ancient artifacts suddenly proved that extraterrestrial visitors were already on Earth thousands of years ago? Hidden scrolls, mysterious crystals, and monumental structures could shake our entire understanding of history. This video explores how, according to the Akasha-Interviews, such discoveries could prepare humanity for first contact. Hello, my name is Frank Harfer, and in the Akasha-Interviews I work as an information medium, documenting and publishing questions and answers about consciousness, humanity, and our place in the universe. With that said, let's turn to the question. Entry A. 274. What happens to our society once first contact has taken place? Part 2. When we speak of first contact, we mean the entire course of events. It could begin with artifacts being discovered in the Great Pyramid of Giza that have been stored there for several thousand years. Or pyramid-like structures might be discovered on the floor of the Mediterranean Sea, and when these structures are surveyed, the researchers will find something they never believed to be possible. But it is also possible that gigantic spacecraft will appear directly in the firmament. There are many starting options, but all of them share something that is essential for first contact to become a complete success. All of these moments will lead to the entire humanity thinking about whether extraterrestrial life exists and whether, besides the humans of Earth, other intelligent life forms also exist. If the scrolls in the Great Pyramid are found, they will report about an extraterrestrial species that was already present on Earth at that time. Much of the information has to do with the Great Flood, and not a single time will it be reported that God was responsible for it, but that this extraterrestrial species was responsible for the flood. Much will become clear to you when the scrolls are translated, but we tell you already today that these scrolls report the story only from one perspective, that of the extraterrestrials. The crystals that are laid out in all the chambers will be ignored at first, but you should already know now that these crystals are information storage devices, and one day we will tell you how you can access all of this information. This information is accessible to everyone. You only have to know how it works. All of this will ensure that humanity must discuss whether it is actually possible that the Earth was visited thousands of years ago by a human extraterrestrial species. The stories in the parchment scrolls will greatly disrupt your current knowledge, but many people will be convinced that extraterrestrial life forms must exist that are not only intelligent, but must also be thousands of years technologically ahead of humanity. Or the monumental structures on the seabed of your Mediterranean Sea will be discovered, and very much will indicate that an extraterrestrial species was on Earth that taught the humans. We are speaking here of evidence that is carved in stone. Here as well, humanity must know who these extraterrestrials were and where they came from. When the information from us about the Anunnaki is compared with the information from the pyramid or the underwater discoveries in the Mediterranean, humanity will suddenly realize what happened here on Earth thousands of years ago. You will have to rewrite your history, and many people will not like that, but that is simply how it is intended. If the spacecraft remain in the firmament, the rest of humanity will also think about the possibility that all of this information contains a core of truth that is difficult for them to digest. Your leading figures will resist this fact until the very end, until they must realize that they have to accept that everything is true, or they will disappear from the public eye, because no one will listen to their chatter anymore. Humanity will then already have reached the realization that intelligent extraterrestrial life must exist. You will not allow so-called experts to take this realization away from you, because you will already have developed the frequency pattern for the recognition of extraterrestrial life. Many of these so-called expert opinions will bounce off you, so that the so-called experts will no longer have anyone who listens to them. They themselves will then arrive, through logical reasoning, at the conclusion that humanity must be right, and will then be just as convinced that intelligent extraterrestrial life must exist. The crystals from the pyramid will only be deciphered much later when the extraterrestrials help with it. In the next part, we will address how living together among you will undergo a transformation, because everything has to do with the fact that you are convinced that intelligent extraterrestrial life exists. This entry, along with many others, is available on my website. The content is published in German, but modern browsers make translation straightforward. You'll find a direct link to this blog entry and further helpful information in the video description.